rage, anger, it's all there. Feel it, be in the feeling. Now, when I count to 3, this higher state that you were just in, we're going to call that in to that experience. Totally transmuted it. Whew. Not there. Anger not there. Child who's witnessing it is safe automatically, perfectly. The sister is safe. And the father, say, shrinks in size and walks away. So the whole trauma event, the whole field of it, including the anger and beliefs that might have been associated with it, like I'm not safe or you can't trust adults, or any of those that you might normally come across in working with a client, were gone. Now, Connie Ray goes on to do other work that I don't do. But that, when I saw that, here's this higher state resource coming into a trauma event, I went, whoa, this is big. And mind you, I'd already been trained in regression work. So I was thinking, well, we could do this in regression. So then I started reading Jack Elias. Anybody know Jack? Good guy. He's written a great manual. He has another book out or coming. He's a longtime Buddhist.
Can you spell that last name?
Elias, like the prophet. And so Jack's book is called Finding True Magic. And it's really a great foundational piece for anybody going into the field. He writes in a kind of manner that, you know, it's a little bit exhausting sometimes to read his, you know, like stream of consciousness intermittently, although he's done some editing in his latest version. But his charge is to bring you into leaving your own head and coming into an understanding that's different than just intellectual. And sometimes that happens when you read his material. So he was talking about that same principle about using higher state resources. So I went, whoa. So I started going in, using that in my work. And that's really the basic principle. And so in my book, which is, I don't know if there are any left, I have more upstairs, but everything that I talk about, this is my aid here, everything that I talk about today is in the book, and of course a lot more, and there are detailed protocols for how-tos, how to do it, and so on. So let's take a session, kind of a model session, and I'll show you the areas that I bring in divine presence or light or the presence of a divine being or a higher state in as a resource, and show you what takes place. So in regression work, I'm very non-directive. And these are all like premises that I operate on. I don't make any assumptions about what the cause of the problem is or where the client needs to go. I do involve facilitating catharsis if it's ready to happen. So I use all the tools that I stole, so to speak, from my Gestalt mentors for that, so that we can magnify the experiences in the body. And being in the feelings, you know, clients will say, well, I feel lousy, or I'm not really happy today, and, you know, that's just bunk. They're not really in it. I'm not really happy, that's what's not happening, you know, things like that. So I'll just say, well, see if you can be in the body in that life. You know, we're walking down the street in London, and notice the heart and the throat and the belly. I have to bring them back. So I use tools like that a lot. And then I'll use tools to to have them deepen into those experiences, however mundane they may seem, or even how profound they may be, because there is always more to be arrived at, more insights to be had by deepening into the feeling process in the body. Most of you know that. So then generally, as you know, if you're doing a regression back to cause, you'll be at some point in the life that's causal for this theme that you're addressing for the client. And then I eventually will have them go back to the womb, be in the womb, experience how the mom is doing, good, bad. If she's in a bad state, how does that affect you? What's the impact on you? Feel that. It's always different, as some of you probably know. When you do that kind of inquiry in the regression, you know, how are you doing in the womb? Oh, it's lovely and I'm floating. And how's your mom? She's not present. She's really so preoccupied with the other 5 kids, she has no time for me. Oh, how does that feel? Well, I have a hole in my heart, which is different than just floating along. See? Okay, so then we'll go through other trauma. Let's say that the theme is abandonment, and we're going to bring healing to that field, that theme. Now, you'll notice I use the word field. That brings us to one of the foundations of how I approach this. The Hindu term.
This one is a.
Oh, this is a.
We get fancy here, you know.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Gee, retractable.
Watch out for the sharp end.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody familiar with this term?
Yeah.
Okay.